Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to add a quiz and a discussion board question to your Moodle Classroom. To start out, we're going to turn editing on in the top right hand corner. The next step is to go to the week where we want to add the quiz and add an activity or resource. When you scroll down, there's going to be a quiz icon. You're going to add that. Once we get to this next screen, we can name this quiz. I'm going to name it Quiz 1. This is where you put your description of the quiz. Below, you can change the timing so you can control when that quiz is available to your students. So I'm going to make this available from November 10th at 11:59 until the 15th of November at 11:59. Time limit, we're going to set this to 60 minutes. When time expires, you can change around if there's a grace period or if it's just submitted as soon as students run out of time. I'm going to leave that. And for grade, this is where we have categories, and you'll see this come up a little bit later. You set this up inside the actual grade book. Right now I only have a discussions category created, so all that means is that all of the different quizzes that I make are not going to be combined together so that we can weight them or anything like that. They're just going to be their separate entries in the grade book. So I'm going to leave that as not categorized. I'm going to leave grade to pass. I'm going to leave attempts allowed. For layout, students will be given 10 questions on a screen as a default, but you can bump that down, you can bump that up. Question behavior, you might want to have your questions shuffled so you don't have to worry about students cheating off of each other's screens. Review options, will students be able to see what they got incorrect, what they got correct. Appearance, don't worry about that. And don't worry about common module settings, restrict access, tags, or competencies. So we're going to save and return to course. And once we do that, we have a blank shell for quiz 1, but we don't have any questions in it. So we're going to click quiz 1, and as you can see, no questions have been added, and we simply hit edit quiz, and this is where we can start adding questions to it. To add a question, I'm going to go to the bottom right hand corner here and add a new question. We're going to start with multiple choice, but you can see all the different types of questions you can add here. You can do essays, numerical, short answer. For this demo, I'm just going to do a quick multiple choice question. I'm going to hit add, question name. This is how it's going to show up when you arrange your different questions. So I'm just going to do question 1, question text. How many points that question is going to be worth is here. And now below we have our answer choices. There are 5 answer choices by default. If you don't fill in any of these answer choices, they won't show up in your actual quiz. Don't worry about that. What you do need to worry about is making sure that you assign a grade to the correct answer or answers in your quiz. So for this answer choice, it's correct, so I'll give it a 100%. If you had multiple answer choices that were correct, you could give them 50% and 50%. You can split it up however it works out for you. For this one, it's going to be 100%. Then I'll go down to the bottom and hit save changes. You could also save changes and continue editing and start adding more and more questions. So I'm going to hit save changes, and now I have added that question to my quiz. Up here for maximum grade, we can assign a point value to it. I'm just going to do 10 points for this and hit save, and that's going to update in the grade book. When I go back to my course, we now have a quiz there with 1 question in it. The next thing that I'm going to show you is how to add a graded discussion board question similar to this one above to your Moodle Classroom. As always, we're going to go to the add an activity or resource, and the thing that we want is forum. So we click forum and hit add. Now we can name the discussion question, and we can add the discussion question text. Below, we're going to keep this as a standard forum for general use, but there are a bunch of different options here that you can take a look at. You can assign word counts, things like that, subscriptions and tracking, will the people be emailed when there's a new discussion post in there. Grade is really important. So right here, this is where you can categorize this particular discussion board post into the discussion category that I created. Once again, that's for calculation and weighting purposes. So I have it made, so I'm going to stick it in there. Ratings, this is where you can change how the discussion board posts are actually graded. I like to go with maximum rating, and then we're going to assign 4 points for this discussion board post. Right here is where you could restrict access and make this question only available during the particular week in which it is located. For all these other things, we're just going to leave these alone, and then we're going to hit save and return to course. Now we have our second discussion question in this week. Let me show you what it looks like in the gradebook. So if we go to the left-hand side and we go to grades, right now you can see the layout of the different categories and the different assignments that we have in the gradebook. Discussion total, this is that category that I was telling you about, and from here we could do different weights and things. To do that, we would go up to setup, and this is where you can assign weights and you can add new categories. So if I wanted to weight quizzes to be a certain percentage of the grade, I would add a quiz category, add my quiz 1 and all subsequent quizzes to that category, and then I could change those numbers around. We're going to leave that alone for this demo, and I'm going to go back to my home page and turn editing off to save those changes.